Hey, ladies. So
Hey, Joe.
this
Hi, Joey.
this is our first chat. Three nutritionists, parents, and people who are invested in health and passionate about health, having a little chat here, and let's get to know each other a little better.
I
Maybe
like
Tina,
that.
you can start by telling us a little bit about you, what you're doing now from a health perspective, and any other things that you want to offer up about yourself.
So, um, this has been a very interesting period in my life. I'm just about finished my degree at through IHN, and so I've learned a lot of great things. And the one thing that seems to be coming up for me over and over again is patience. So thank you, COVID, because it's reiterated that for me. So what am I doing right now? I'm trying every day to exercise patience in every way that I can. And I've realized that I do have this bulldozing tendency. And usually I'm like, forte, 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 get everything done. But now I'm like more like piano. So that's kind of like where I'm at.
You're Italian. You're basically turning Italian.
I'm basically Italian, Joe, like you.
Excellent. So IHN is the Institute of Holistic Nutrition,
Yes.
where we all went to school. Tina's
Yes.
finishing up, still torturing herself, but
Yes.
yeah. Zeenat, so a bit about what's going on in your life and what you're doing and what you're achieving right now.
So I graduated last year, and after school, my main goal was to just try and spread the word and spread the nutrition education that we've learned over the last couple of years in nutrition school. And I had spent about 20 years in the corporate world. And so my goal really is, to go back and just share some of this information. And really, as a stress management coach, I want to teach people how to live mindfully, I think, live with purpose and live with joy, because it's totally doable. So that's kind of the goal.
Nice.
Awesome.
I
Yeah,
like
I think I'm, I'm very similar to both of you, especially Xena coming from the corporate world where I came from many years, seeing what it's like to be in that environment day in, day out, the stressors of it. Everyone has their stressors. And I think I just grew a passion over time to try and quell a lot of that and try and elevate myself from a health perspective and optimize my health. And that's really how I came to decide, you know what, I have this passion and I want to follow it. And I have an opportunity at 40 to go and try this out and learn more, get a foundation in health. And that was important to me. So I did it and got an amazing education at in the Institute of Holistic Nutrition, going to school with you guys. So now I want to take those learnings, bring them back to corporations, and bring them, back to my family and friends and network and community around me, just essentially to help elevate the health of everyone that I can.
Yeah, and
So
I think, Joseph, that, there are so many support tools available out there. And I think we can integrate them into our lives, into the lives of, people in the workplace. And I don't think you need to pick between our health and pursuing our careers. We can really balance both by applying some of the education that we've learned at IHN.
yeah, so where it, there are probably some specialties that each of us have that we could kind of talk about or where our passions really lie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
let's get some maybe perspective on that and what you're trying to accomplish, maybe with the health knowledge that you've acquired.
Okay, I'm gonna start this off because My health journey really started when I got really sick during my pregnancy, towards the end, and there was essentially no solution that was offered me. So out of sheer desperation, um, I just Googled everything under the sun, and it seemed like a lot of women who were going through what I was going through had a lot of success with homeopathy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember one of the health food stores I was at had a card for a homeopath, and I like frantically emailed her. Um, Anyways, we met, and through our meeting, it ended up being that the remedy she gave me worked, and I had relief within 48 hours, which was incredible. So that was a huge pivotal moment for me, because I thought to myself, like, oh my God, what else?
Hmm.
What else can we treat that we didn't know about? So, you know, my specialty kind of evolved with that, because that was my moment. And then from then onwards, I used so much of this knowledge through trial and error as well with my kids. So now I've become the like first person that new moms or any mom would reach out to and say, hey, this is what's happening. What do you do? And honestly, I would say 9 out of 10 times I have an immediate answer. And if I don't have an immediate answer, I at least know where to go, because I had to become so resourceful. So I would say that has become something that I've really become very good at.
I would say even since knowing you, any type of homeopathy questions that I have,
Yeah.
I'm usually like, okay, I should probably check with Tina. Just, in general, homeopathy, how would you describe it? The life force of the plant being
You know,
diluted.
it's so
How would you
crazy to
describe it?
describe this, because I have a bachelor's in science, and this is just like, so there is a science to it, right? But it's exactly the energy of something. And I am not a homeopath. I have a great homeopath that I work with, but after a decade, you pick up a few things, right?
Yeah.
So it's the energy of that thing. It's this notion that like treats like. So when you have something, you're going to try to find a remedy that mimics some of the experiences that you're having at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I continued and as I learned about the different potencies, how it can be so physical, but then it can be like the higher you go, maybe it becomes more of an emotional thing. So it's kind of like what you've been hampered with. It's kind of like your constitution.
Yeah.
And as a science major, like as someone who studied the DNA and RNA and these like intricate biological systems, this was something to me that was like, is this like quackery? You know?
Yeah.
But then you get put in a situation where you're desperate,
Yeah.
and you do it and it works. And it's not that I don't care, but at that time I don't care like what I would have had to do.
Just give me something.
Just give me something. I was covered in ulcers. I had a plague.
Oh.
And it was terrible. So I was going into psychosis because I hadn't slept in 10 days. So I would have done anything. So anyways, that's kind of what it is. And I think everybody has a different experience with it. But now again, not a homeopath, but I know some stuff enough to kind of cover my bases and help other people cover theirs. And if I don't know, I just tell them.
I
Someone
think,
studied this for 4 years. Go see
yeah. I think energetically, I had the same struggle as we were going through class and schooling, listening to the idea of using the energetic footprint of a plant to treat something in the body. And I don't think I really understood until I kind of put together through learnings, like someone like Bruce Lipton, who
Yeah.
talked about, you have an electronic device inside of you, which is your heart,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
and you have electromagnetic frequency that surrounds your organs, your cells, your body.
Yeah.
And so there is a connection, a very specific connection when it comes to energy in the body and in your cells. It's there, and that energetic connection interacts with other things that have energy around you, including things that you put inside your body, food,
Absolutely.
the molecules in it, the plants. These all have some sort of life force or energy in them. So
Yeah.
it's not quackery. If you get down to the molecular level, you literally see that there is energy in cells. So
Yeah.
at a molecular level, why can you not treat yourself with something?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it resonated with me.
That's absolutely true. And I'll never forget when I was going in to be treated for this like ulcer plague that I had, the physician that was treating me, once I told him like I did homeopathy, that's why it's gone, because he couldn't believe it. He said to me, I'll never forget this. He said, what I study is science. Homeopathy is a science and an art, which I didn't study.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's working for you, then you do it. And
Zeenat,
that
think-
really,
when you talk about energy, I think.
I was going to say, you always talk about energy, and you talk in different formats. Let's hear.
Yeah, so truly it's not, our thoughts are energy. As nutritionists, we know food is energy too, right? So I think in the Western world, we count food as just calories or protein or macronutrients. But I think, it is actually information that contains messages, and it communicates with us every day. It communicates, like Bruce Lipton says, with every cell in our body, because every cell is intelligent. So I think if we pay attention to how we feel, say, after a meal, you will understand whether that food is right for you or not. And I think thoughts play a huge part. One of the biggest things that I've done after school is really, to end during COVID, taken a lot of time to do yoga and meditation and nature walks. And what that has done is it's activated my restful nervous system. So I'm not in that fight or flight mode all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes people think that they're busy or they have no time. But in essence, it's actually their fight and flight mode that's activated due to constant stress. So yoga and meditation and nature walks actually calm your system down and move you into a parasympathetic or a more restful state. And I think that has really helped me when you talk about energy.
And, moving from or talking about the parasympathetic sympathetic system, when you're talking about how the body physiologically reacts to the state that, say, your mind is in, there is a very direct connection between your state of mind and then how your body reacts to that experience that you're having. If you're scared, or if you're fearful, or if you're stressed, your body releases hormones to release specific or have specific actions in the body. Things like cortisol, which is released from your adrenal glands, that enters the body to say, physiologically do this. Widen or send blood to your pupils in your eyes, and send blood to your muscles, and take it away from your digestive system, because you're in a state of stress right now. You don't need to eat.
Yeah.
So those mechanisms are very real and are happening. And back to your point about the things that you do from yoga and meditation and whatnot, they changed your state of mind. Hence, they change the physiological impact or changes that your body would otherwise be going through if you were in a stressful or fearful state.
Yeah. I mean, the nervous system really is the control center, right, of the human body. And if you can actually activate a restful nervous system, then a lot of the diseases in your body can be calmed down and managed through just lifestyle changes. And it's as easy as going for a 20-minute walk or spending, 15 minutes deep breathing or doing a meditation. And I know for a fact that those are the things that have really worked for me. And, if you start with lifestyle changes and nutrition changes, and then you can add other things too.
So lifestyle changes, let's sit on that for a second. How do you, manage your time and sort of manage this daily regime you have or whatnot? How do you do it?
So I
Because
think,
it's tough right now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the kids at home and they're, it's a stressful period everyone is going through right now. So to get yourself up and into a regime is tough, and it keeps getting disrupted based on the COVID schedule.
Yeah.
Sorry,
How
what
do
do
you
you do?
carve out that time, right? So I think, as a project manager, like I'm a practical and concrete thinker. So I do break my day down into manageable tasks. And, I don't hesitate to delegate to people in my family or members of my team. I think that there are people around us that are more than capable to help. I think sometimes we just we don't really ask for help. Mm-hmm. So, for me, asking for help has enabled me to take time out for self-care and really do some of the things that I really want to do and enjoy doing. I don't let my ego come in the way, or I don't say I want things done a certain way. Yeah. And I'm not going to let anybody else do it because I need it done my way. So I think that helps when you allow other people to help you, or you just ask for help.
Tina, what about you? How do you build all this in?
So, pre-COVID, I had one day a month where I would go to the spa all day, and I would only bring like a magazine where there was no thinking involved. Mm-hmm. And that was really my 7 hours of, I'm not going to think about anything stressful, and it's going to be my time. And I enjoyed that day so much. I looked forward to it.
Yeah.
We miss the spa.
I miss it so much, right? Such a first world problem. So now that I can't do that, I give myself half a day off a week. And I was telling Joey how, that I really try hard not to get that shifted. That was a little bit harder this week, but I have to give myself that time in the week, especially now that the kids are back at school, because that's my nervous system regulating. I know that on Thursday afternoon, I have that day off, I have that time off. I can look forward to that starting Monday. And then daily, if I can just take 1 minute, I'm not even going to do the 15, 20 minutes like you, Xena. I'm going to just say to myself, 1 minute today. I'm going to just sit somewhere, especially if my mind is racing. Yeah. And I just tell myself, okay, I'm here now. It's quiet, just 60 seconds, and if I can increase it to 2 minutes, that's fine. But at least I'm doing 60 seconds. So that's just me time. And that's enough. If I can do that, then that's enough for me to be motivated. Okay, I'm going to have a shake. I'm not going to grab the whatever easy thing. I'm going to go grab a fruit, or it's enough because I'm looking forward to something. I know that there's a joyful period coming there. So that's how I'm kind of going through it this time around.
Speaking of shakes, what do you put inside your shake?
So because I have autoimmune, I got to try to avoid whey a little bit. So every once in a while, every couple of days, 3-4 days, because my gut health is good, I'll have a really delicious whey shake because they taste like chocolate pudding.
And whey because of the dairy ingredients in it?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Because of the dairy, and especially with mine, it just doesn't play very well. But every 3-4 days, I can definitely handle it. So in my shakes, I'll do like a vegan protein. And then I'll put in some cacao powder. I love chocolate. So I'll do
Yeah.
cacao or carob for that chocolatey flavor. And I'll use unsweetened chocolate almond milk.
It's
So
nice and chocolatey. I love it.
it's so chocolatey. So I like it, right? It tastes so good. And that's quick and simple. And another thing is like it seems part of my nervous system also likes complication, or at least it did. I kind of thrive off that like oscillating up here, right?
Mhm.
So I've learned also that needs to come down, and part of that is letting go, being a little bit easier. So instead of making this elaborate Gordon Ramsay breakfast,
Yeah.
Just
hey
something.
man, the shake's gonna do today.
Simplify it. Yeah.
Boil eggs. Yeah, it's not like super gourmet, but it's nutritious and
And
it's
it fills
easy
you up,
and it
satiates
fills me
you.
up. And it doesn't have to be disgusting. You know, I have time to sprinkle a bit of that $10 molten salt up there, drizzle a little olive oil, right? But it's still easy.
Yeah. Zena, what about you? Are you doing shakes right now, or?
You know, I have been doing a collagen smoothie in the morning because I had eczema and I wanted to repair my gut lining. I want to try and wean off of that and just do more leafy green vegetables and berries and anything that will boost vitamin C production. So then it will boost my natural collagen production. But I have been doing a collagen smoothie in the morning. What I do though is I actually do a lot of meal prep. I've kind of moved my organizational skills in the kitchen, and I prep my meals. I use like very easy recipes that the kids love to eat.
Mhm.
And chop my vegetables, wash them, prep them, and keep them in the fridge so that they're readily available.
Yeah.
So when I am hungry, there is something that you can grab that's healthy versus going through a drive-through, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Makes
That's a
sense.
great idea. Joe, how about you? What are you doing in your smoothie routine?
Smoothies have kind of been on hold lately. I've actually been switching over to like a mid-morning greens.
Nice.
So I just essentially I take a greens powder and full of antioxidants and alkalizing for the body.
Mm-hmm.
So and a little bit filling. And I do a mid-morning, essentially green powder with water and chug that back just to make sure that I'm covering a good amount of nutrients early on in the day.
Yeah.
But I was off coffee for about a year. I came back to coffee. It's a tough habit to kick. It's very addictive.
Yeah.
But what I've done with my coffee lately is I've been putting in MCT oil.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
yeah, it kind of savors it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really taste MCT oil is basically modified coconut oil in it, and you get the boost of energy from the coffee, and you get kind of this brain boost or healthy boost from the MCT oil, which I like. It's not as coffee tends to give me sometimes a scattered sort of energy, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe even makes me a little bit shaky sometimes.
Yeah.
But the MCT oil I find is a very
Levels it.
calming, leveling energy, and so I've been enjoying that, and I've been doing that every morning. And usually I do out of 3 days, I probably out of the week do a 3 day intermittent fast. So I won't eat any breakfast. Probably won't eat till about 11:30. But if I am eating breakfast, it's typically eggs and olive oil, tomatoes, and avocados.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a whole grain bread I throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Depends, how quickly I want to put together. But yeah, the eggs, I'll just, fry them up
So easy, right?
in a pan, throw them on a plate. Yeah, I really try and make it as easy as possible. And, do the same thing for the kids and my wife, depending on it's either her or me who's preparing some form of breakfast. Keeps them away from cereals or other things that necessarily you're not getting full nutritional value out of.
Yeah.
Just kind of filling your stomach up on, which is sometimes that's the way it goes, right? It's like, hey guys, go grab the granola from the cupboard and
Eat that.
just eat that.
Yeah.
But most of the time we're not doing that, which is what we try to do.
Yeah, I like that approach.
So
I think Joseph, spirulina is a good greens powder, right? By Organic Traditions, or just spirulina in general, I think is great for smoothies too.
I think with spirulina and with chlorella, I think more so chlorella. I can't remember which one of them, but either one of them. For some people, you got to be a little bit careful with that. Autoimmune, be a little bit careful. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And so low and slow in the beginning and see how you feel.
mm-hmm.
And then you can go from there. If it's in a blend, it's the same. Like, so check the greens and see spirulina, chlorella, just see if that's in there, that's fine. And if you have some issues, notice. If there isn't a problem, keep going. Yeah. If there is, then maybe there's a sensitivity there.
And I think that's why, going back to whenever I'm not feeling well or I'm off, I keep a journal. And so 30 minutes after anything new that I've tried, am I feeling bloated or I'm tired? Then I can go back to what is it that I've changed in my routine that's not working for me. And I think if we can go back to this intuitive eating and understanding how we feel after a meal, I think that is a lot more, goes a long way, I think, than what a nutritionist or a doctor might be able to tell you.
I love that perspective. Yeah, I typically just feel like, oh yeah, I'm in touch with my body and I can figure out if something's going on. But you know what? It probably really helps to write it down and get that perspective.
Yeah, I think you're right. I like that.
So what other maybe things do you put into your daily routine? We kind of talked through morning and whatnot. What or maybe even things that we all have children, things that we give to our children on a daily basis, like things to make them sleep.
Oh yeah, early. That's like the most important supplement in my cupboard. My kids are pretty good because we've been doing this since they were born. So one thing that I like in the morning is we usually do end up having breakfast together, right? So it's a nice way to kind of start the day off, and then everybody gets their supplements, like their B's, their C's, their D's, and they're out the door. In the evening is kind of my bigger thing, because around, my kids sleep at 7, or like around 7. My daughter is older, so she sleeps a little bit later. Mm-hmm. So we kind of developed this routine where around 6 o'clock we do what's called wind down time. Yeah. So all the lights kind of go off. Very nice. Yeah, no electronics for sure. Mm-hmm. I have their things scheduled to turn off. So at 6 it turns off, and they're like, "What happened to the internet, Mom?" And I'm like, "Oh, the internet company, I don't know." So so it doesn't get follow-up questions. They're at it again. They're digging. Well, that's good to get, prime their circadian rhythm. Exactly. Make sure that they can sleep. We can't go from like here to bed, right? Yeah. So 6 o'clock, we start winding down. We play some games together, but then around 6:15, 6:30, they'll go up, they'll do their bath or their shower. We read, and we're kind of done. And my husband and I will alternate. One night, put this kid to bed. One night, put this kid to bed. If we can't, one of us will do both. So the evening part is kind of more, I think, I don't want to say more important, but it definitely sets up for a better sleep cycle. And then cognitively, the next morning, they're up and ready to go. Yeah. So that's like on a daily basis. On a weekly basis, I started implementing something that I've personally really enjoyed, which is that I'll come up with a craft or like something creative that me and the kids can do together on Saturdays. Or if I'm working Sundays, it'll be Saturdays. If Saturday's busy, we'll do Sunday. Great. And it's so fun. So like Mark, my husband, goes downstairs, he works out. Like, I'm not working out. So I take all the crafts and stuff downstairs. He's doing his thing, and me and the kids are painting or we're creating something. And I've actually started really looking forward to that because
It sounds therapeutic.
it is.
Yeah.
Like I painted this. I don't know.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and then I can plant my little cacti in there or whatever it is. And the kids kind of do stuff too. Everybody's doing something they want to do, but we're all together.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
You know? And so it takes the stress off of like, I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to do this, but I want to do this instead. And again, me as someone who needs to work on the nervous system, that's a lot better for me than stressing out my body by running right now, right?
Yes.
Everything is relative. So that's something that I do on a weekly basis. And I find that that's been something I've looked forward to.
I've been doing some chess games with the kids.
Nice.
Yeah. So, being a little bit selfish, trying to stimulate my brain as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, teach them how to play. And even my 5-year-old, he understands the rules of the game, essentially, like where a player can move or where a piece can move. And that's nice to see him to be able to do that, and then start to put thought into moving a chess piece from here to there, and what happens, what are the consequences of moving that piece there. Starting to see that evolve. So not every day, but 3 to 4 times out of the week, trying to play games with both my boys. It's been nice. Chess, you're like you're saying, your stimulants are gone. No cell phone, no computers. And you're just kind of using your brain and focused on one thing, as opposed to being in that scatterbrained type of environment that at least I've been in throughout this COVID period. Just thinking about so many different things.
It's a little bit of projection on your end too, because you're trying to solve an issue that you feel you're having, and again with COVID, with the kids always being home, isn't it just so much easier to include?
Yeah.
It makes it more possible for us as parents, Then it's not my time versus your time. It's like it's our time.
Together,
it's family time.
Great.
And I think when the kids see you doing something, they will probably end up joining you or picking it up. Whether that's chess or art or going for a walk, you do it often enough, and they want to be involved as well. We have a backyard rink, and the kids will skate, or Adam will play hockey with his buddies. So it's obviously you can't have too many people, in a small rink, but it's ways to just get outside. And I think we can just show our kids by doing rather than telling them what to do. My kids are a little bit older. Telling them what to do is not going to work, right?
Yeah. We still have the luxury of telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start to close down the conversation by just sort of asking each other what would be something that we do to simplify our lives.
Yeah.
And that could help improve health. So with the health theme, what are we doing and keeping it simple? I think that's key.
So Joe, why don't you go first?
You want me to go first? So I think trying to make sure, at least from a health perspective, that I'm including, I do take supplements. I like taking supplements. I think it fills a big gap for me nutritionally, because in my perspective, I don't have enough of the nutrients in the fridge, and I'm not necessarily, always up for cooking meals that include every nutrient across the spectrum. So supplements for me are how I simplify my nutrition. And I do that, by every day adding a probiotic, essential fatty acid like fish oil. And those are kind of standard things that I put in there. And a multivitamin. A multi, I think, is one of the easiest ways to simplify nutritional needs. And then from an exercise perspective, I, at the very least, try and get on the bike, for the indoor bike, for like 15 minutes. Even if I'm, I don't want to do this, it's only 15 minutes. So at least get myself on there and get that little bit of exercise in. And throwing exercise into the mix a little more, I walk the kids to school and walk them home, rain or shine. I force myself to do that. It's part of the process. I have to pick them up. So why not somehow turn it into an exercise? So that's kind of what I integrate into my life that's non-intrusive.
I like that, Joe. I like that non-intrusive
that's amazing
adjective that you used. I like that.
What's your non-intrusives?
For me, like, food is such a big stressor, or was a big stressor for me. Like, we have 3 meals a day, man. Like, I don't want to fight every meal. That's a lot of fighting, right?
Yeah.
So I really just simplified the food, and it took a lot for me to be like, okay, is this going to be easy? So we have Meatless Monday, where I'll do a pasta, and the pasta can be quinoa, can be a veggie pasta, whatever. And I hide so much ish in that sauce, and I buy the sauce. I look for the main ingredients. If it's natural and organic, I'm buying it, and we're done.
Yeah.
And
Quick
that's
and
Monday.
easy.
It's easy, and then I don't have to be. I'm not dreading that dinner time. Tuesdays, Taco Tuesday. The kids love it. We get my grass-fed beef from the farm. We make it. Sometimes I'll give the kids wheat tortillas, and some days I won't.
Yeah.
Week on, week off, because my son and I are gluten sensitive, right? Wednesday is fish day, so my husband fasts Wednesdays and Fridays, so those are fish days. So I'll do a baked salmon. I'll do Costco sells like a tuna kit with like rice crackers. They're like a fast
I gotta
snack.
See that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta check that out.
And the tuna's already like pre-mixed, and it's kind of just like dip and go.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go there.
And for some reason, my son loves it. So another way I simplified, on Fridays, they get packaged lunches. So he gets that tuna.
Yeah.
I found these like Lunchables that are antibiotic free and like come from like clean farms.
Grass-fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So they get that.
This is a Costco thing too? Costco as well?
Not for those ones, at least not at ours, but we have like, I think, a Metro or something close by, and they sell it.
Got it.
So they get that on Fridays, you know, and that's amazing. I love that day because it's so easy.
Yeah.
And then Friday nights or Saturday mornings, or we used to do Friday nights, but we changed it to Saturdays. We do pizza and movie. And the pizza I get again from Costco, it's gluten-free. It tastes good. And we have a salad. Every meal has a salad. And it's so easy, right? So like for me, that was a big stressor. So to keep it simple, I've started implementing those changes. And the kids even said, like, Mom, you've been a lot happier.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm not freaking out about, you know, get that hemp part in your, you know, just like whatever. It's there. It's if it doesn't come this week, we got next week. We got a lifetime.
Zena, what about you?
I think, when you talk about simplicity, we just recently renovated, and we've been in this house about 17 years. And I can tell you, getting rid of the clutter in my house has kind of left me so free.
You're lighter.
There's no emotional stress. There's no physical stress. Everybody knows where their stuff is. And so I think sometimes we focus on bigger things, but it's really just get rid of the clutter, or go for a walk for 20 minutes. Like you said, Joseph, go pick up the kids, and those are some of the simple things I think that really work. I walk for about an hour every day, and I just started Kundalini yoga, which has changed my life. I do about an hour of yoga every day, and it's amazing. It simplifies you. I think a lot of it is mental for me, and that really helped.
That's
Well, let's thank you for the conversation. It was really fun. I'd like to continue the conversation, so maybe we can meet up again next week. And
I'd like
yeah,
that.
I liked it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, thanks, guys. Thank
Okay,
you.
take care, everyone.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.